Have you ever been in the middle of a project, everything going smoothly, only to be stopped dead in your tracks by slow-drying glue? You've got your pieces perfectly aligned, the clamps are on, and now you wait, and wait, and wait some more. It can feel like watching paint dry, but even slower. This waiting game can kill your momentum and stretch a simple weekend project into a week-long saga. When you're excited to see your creation come to life, the last thing you want is to be held hostage by your adhesive. That's why knowing your glue's drying time is so important. It helps you plan your workflow and keep the creative energy flowing without unnecessary interruptions. Today, we're putting 3 heavyweights of the woodworking world head-to-head in a battle of speed. I'm talking about the Titebond family, Titebond Original or Titebond 1, Titebond 2 Premium, and Titebond 3 Ultimate. These are the yellow bottles you see in just about every workshop, and for good reason. They are reliable, strong, and easy to use, but each one has its own personality, and one of the biggest differences is how long they take to set up and fully cure. Our goal is simple: to find out which one dries the fastest so you can choose the perfect partner for your next project, whether you need lightning-fast assembly or a little more time to get things just right. To figure this out, we need a fair test, a showdown, if you will. We're not just going to slap some glue on wood and guess. We're going to be methodical, like a true woodworking scientist. For each type of glue, we'll use identical pieces of wood. This ensures that the material itself doesn't influence the results. By keeping the wood type, size, and surface preparation the same for every single test, we can be confident that any difference we see in drying time is purely down to the glue itself. It's all about creating a level playing field where each Titebond glue gets a fair shot to prove its speed. The environment where you work can have a huge impact on how quickly glue dries. Things like temperature and humidity can either speed up the process or slow it down to a crawl. To make sure our test is accurate, we're conducting this experiment in a controlled space. The workshop temperature will be kept steady, and we'll monitor the humidity to ensure it doesn't swing wildly. This way, Titebond 1, 2, and 3 are all facing the exact same conditions. There will be no excuses and no unfair advantages. It's a pure test of chemical performance, letting us see the true nature of each glue without outside interference. For this epic glue showdown, our materials are simple but effective. We have 9 small identical blocks of pine. Why 9? We're going to create 3 separate glue-ups, one for each type of Titebond glue. Using 3 blocks for each test, a top, a middle, and a bottom piece, gives us 2 glue joints to observe per test. This gives us more data and makes our results more reliable. Using plain pine is also a good choice because it's a common wood that many of us use for projects, so the results will be relevant to everyday woodworking. The blocks have all been cut from the same board and sanded lightly to ensure the surfaces are ready for gluing. Now let's talk about clamping. Applying consistent pressure is key to a strong glue joint, and it's also crucial for a fair test. If one set of blocks is clamped tighter than another, it could squeeze out more glue and potentially affect the drying time. To avoid this, we will use the same type of clamp for all 3 glue-ups. We will tighten each clamp to a similar firm pressure, not so tight that we starve the joint of glue, but snug enough to bring the wood surfaces into intimate contact. This consistency is our secret weapon for ensuring that the only variable we are truly testing is the glue itself. Here's how the test will unfold step by step. First, I'll lay out one set of 3 pine blocks. I'll apply a nice even bead of Titebond Original wood glue to the face of one block, spread it thinly with a small brush, and then place the next block on top. I'll repeat this for the second joint, and then immediately place the assembly into the clamp and tighten it down. As soon as the clamp is set, I'll start a stopwatch. We're not messing around here. Precision is the name of the game. This process will be repeated exactly the same way for Titebond 2 and Titebond 3, each with its own stopwatch. So, how do we measure dry? For this test, we're measuring the tack-free time. This is the point where the squeezed-out glue is no longer sticky to the touch. I will gently poke the glue bead at regular intervals, say every 5 minutes. The moment my finger comes away clean, I'll stop the timer for that specific glue. While this isn't the full curing time, which takes much longer, the tack-free time is a great indicator of how quickly you can handle your project or remove the clamps for less critical joints. It's the first major milestone in the drying process, and the one that often dictates the pace of our work. After applying the glues, clamping the blocks, and starting our timers, the waiting game began. It was fascinating to watch the subtle changes in the glue squeeze-out. Titebond Original, the classic choice for indoor furniture, started to form a skin relatively quickly. Titebond II, known for its water resistance, seemed to behave very similarly at the start. Then there was Titebond III, the waterproof, longer open-time glue. You might expect it to be the slowest, but chemistry can be surprising. Every 5 minutes I carefully checked each glue line, documenting the exact moment it transitioned from a sticky liquid to a solid, rubbery film. The results from our stopwatch test were clear and a little unexpected. Titebond Original Wood Glue became tack-free in about 25 minutes. Titebond 2 Premium. Wood glue was slightly faster, clocking in at around 20 minutes. But the surprising winner of the speed round was Titebond III Ultimate Wood Glue, which became tack-free in just under 15 minutes. This was a shocker. Titebond III is marketed as having a longer open time, which is the time you have to assemble your project. Many people, myself included, assume that longer open time means a longer overall drying time. But our test showed that isn't necessarily the case. So why did Titebond III dry the fastest, even with its longer open time? It comes down to the glue's chemical makeup. Titebond III uses a more advanced cross-linking polymer technology. This means that once the curing process starts, it happens very efficiently and rapidly. The longer open time is engineered to give you flexibility during assembly, but once the pieces are joined and exposed to air, the chemical reaction that hardens the glue is incredibly fast. Titebond 1 and 2, being older formulations, have a more straightforward drying process that relies more heavily on simple water evaporation, which can be a bit slower by comparison. It's important to remember that tack-free time isn't the whole story. Each of these glues has other features that might make it the right choice for your job. Titebond Original is fantastic for basic interior projects. It's easy to clean up with water and creates a very strong bond. Titebond 2 adds water resistance, making it great for things like cutting boards or outdoor furniture that will be somewhat protected from the elements. Titebond III is fully waterproof once cured, making it the go-to for projects that will live outdoors and face rain and sun. It's also FDA approved for indirect food contact, another bonus for kitchen projects. After our careful side-by-side test, we have a clear winner in the race to dry. The fastest drying glue in our showdown is, without a doubt, Titebond III Ultimate Wood Glue. It became tack-free in a record 15 minutes, beating both Titebond 2 at 20 minutes and Titebond 1 at 25 minutes. This result proves that a glue can offer a generous working time for assembly and still set up incredibly quickly once it's clamped. For woodworkers who need to move quickly from one step to the next, this rapid tack time is a massive advantage, reducing the time your project needs to sit in clamps and freeing you up to continue your work. So, which Titebond should you grab for your next project? If speed is your absolute top priority for a quick assembly or repair, Titebond 3 is your champion. It's perfect for complex glue-ups, where you need time to get parts aligned but then want it to lock in fast. For general all-around workshop use, especially for projects that might be exposed to a bit of moisture like kitchen items or patio furniture, Titebond 2 is an excellent and slightly more economical choice. And for classic indoor furniture making where you're not worried about water, the original Titebond 1 is a reliable and time-tested standard that gets the job done beautifully. In summary, the choice depends entirely on your project's specific needs. Don't just grab any yellow bottle. Think about what you're building. Need to build a birdhouse that will sit in the rain? Go for the waterproof Titebond 3, making an indoor bookshelf that needs to be assembled and finished fast. Titebond 3's quick tack time is still a great choice, but Titebond 2 also offers a good balance of speed and cost. Are you a beginner building a simple pine box? Titebond 1 is forgiving, strong, and perfect for learning. Knowing the strengths of each glue will make you a smarter, more efficient woodworker. Now I want to turn it over to you. These were the results in my shop, under my conditions. What have you found in your own woodworking adventures? Do your experiences with Titebond glues line up with my test? Maybe you found that temperature or the type of wood you use makes a huge difference. Every woodworker has their favorite go-to glue, and I'd love to hear which one you choose and why. Share your own Titebond showdown stories, tips, and tricks in the comments below. Let's learn from each other and build better together.